Hello, everybody. Welcome to another great episode of Distilled, Brewed, and Reviewed. My name is John. This is the world famous Sipping Den. I do on this channel everything that has anything to do with alcohol and coffee. So that's a beautiful thing, if you ask me. Elijah Craig, made by Heaven Hill. I think I'm going to be the first one to review this because they just came out with it. I checked to see if there's any other reviews. There wasn't. I was at the distillery when they launched it. So Elijah Craig makes a normal 94 proof small batch bourbon. Very good, especially for the price. Delicious. They also make full proof ones that they come out with 3 times a year. And they have a toasted, they call it toasted barrel, but it's Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. A lot of people will review it. They'll put toasted barrel. You're going to have to change that a little bit now. So what did they just come out with? Right here. See the green? Toasted Rye. 94 proof. Here's the title of this. Elijah Craig launches Toasted Rye Kentucky Straight Rye Whiskey. The process begins with fully matured Elijah Craig Straight Rye Whiskey, which is dumped and then re-entered at barrel proof into a second custom toasted new oak barrel designed in partnership with Independent Stave Company. Elijah Craig, or Heaven Hill, uses 5 barrel companies because they're big, all right? But this one here is with the Stave, Independent Stave. The toast on these secondary barrels is unique to Elijah Craig. Now, this is interesting. It's unique to the toasted rye. At the end of the toasting process, a cap, this is where I guess it gets unique, is placed on the barrel to quickly ramp up the heat to an extremely high temperature, allowing phenols, sugars, and everything else to embed it in the surface of the barrel. It goes toward the heat for an added element of smoke to complement the spice and sweetness of the rye. So they're trapping the smoke in there is what they're saying. Now, when a barrel is toasted as opposed to charred, of course, you put the flame in, right? And if it's a 1 char, 2 char, 3 char, 4 chars, how long the flame's in contact. I've done a whole video on that. When you toast it, you just heat it up. You might put the flame in there, but you're not charring it. You're just heating it, baking it, if you will, sweating out the sugars and the phenols and all that, but not charring them, right? Gives a different profile. Now here they're saying they're trapping making it extra hot in there and trapping in the smoke, right, to give it a little smokiness. But here's going to be something that's confusing here in a second. Let me see. So that's normally what it is. So instead of putting it in a second brand new oak charred barrel, which is considered double oaked, they put it in the second barrel that's just toasted. It's not oaked. It doesn't have the flame. It's not charred. So that's called toasted, generally. There's a lot of elements to this game, all right? Elijah Craig Rye leads with, I don't want to talk about the taste because we're going to get into that. Let me see. There's something in here that I want you to see. Well, first off, the mash bill is 51% corn, 35%, 51% rye, 35% corn, 14% malted barley. If this was reversed and it was 51% corn and 35% rye, which they do make something like that, that would be considered a high rye bourbon. This is considered a Kentucky rye. It's a high corn rye. Bare minimum of rye, 51%, what it has to be. That's the lowest it can be. And more corn, all right? It's going to resemble bourbon a little more like that. All right. Something I really hope I can find it because I really want to read you this. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, here it is. Now, unlike many other finished whiskeys, and I just explained it to you, this whiskey retains its status as a Kentucky Straight Rye Whiskey because the second finishing barrel is both new and charred. If it's new and charred, that would make it double oaked. We just went over that, right? If it's charred and you put in another charred barrel, it's double oaked. This is saying toasted. So I think I know what they did. And I could go through this one a lot. Okay, this could get complicated, but here's what they did. I think it has to be. The second barrel, they toasted it first, like we talked about, and then they charred it. But they're just calling that toasted. Okay? It adds complexity when you toast it first. Yes, you char it, then you caramelize it. But instead of char or char toast, it's char toast char. I hope that makes sense to you. I'm pretty sure that's what they did. The way I'm reading it, it has to be the way they did. I want to say a lot of things about that. It's not for this. We're just going to review this right now, all right? Just trust me on it. I'm pretty sure that's how they did it. All right, here's the first crack. Here's the first crack. I'm a big fan of Heaven Hill and Elijah Craig, all right? Really enjoy it. All right, and we'll do a lot of comparisons here down the road, all right? Right now, let's just get this out of the way. Now, here's the color, right? You can see it. Right? Beautiful, beautiful amber. Dark amber. Nice. And they don't talk about how long it's in the secondary barrel, which is smart because you really can't talk about that, because if you're putting it in, you're looking for a flavor profile. You're looking to take it out when it tastes good. You can't just say it's going to be 3 months and pull it out. What if it doesn't taste good? What if it tastes good? It takes 6 months on this one. Or what if this barrel tastes good in 2 months? See, so it's hard to say we're going to do it exactly 3. That would be foolish, really. All right, so here it is. Let's get into it. Oh, it's got a unique smell. Yes, sir. Wow, it's coming. Believe it or not, I'm smelling coconut on this first pour right out of the thing there. I'm getting coconut. It may dissipate. I don't mind. I love coconut, but I wasn't expecting it. Butterscotch. Definitely smell the wood, and I smell the smoke. You know, that's what that odd flame. It is smoky. Yeah, very smoky. All right, well, you know what? Cheers. I'm going to take an acclimation sip, erase any taste that might be in my mouth, not pay attention to it, and then we will go in for the tasting. Let's just cleanse the palate. Let's reset. Just letting it acclimate. 94 proof. It's a smoky little devil. Tell you something. Very sweet. And they're right. The smokiness and the little bit of spice from that rye, the little extra rye than what a bourbon would have, really offsets the sweetness. See? Because you got that spicy pepper from the rye. You got that a little extra smoke. It's like a sweet smoke. And then you still have the sweet and the caramelization of what that second barrel's doing. All right? Very good. Oh, yeah. Caramel. Not like this one. Not like the bourbon. That's pure caramel. But caramel. But smoke. But I can taste the wood. Yeah, I can taste the sweetness. I can taste the spice from the rye. All these things are coming out. Just a chocolate. Oh, yeah. Honestly, I thought it would be good. The Elijah Craig line is, I've never had a bad expression ever. So I'm thinking this rye is probably going to hit it out of the park, especially since I love the darn toasted bourbon so darn much. They didn't disappoint me. Delicious. I don't know how limited this is going to be. Somewhere when I was reading that, I didn't read you everything, but it did say a very limited allocated release. Is that going to be every once in a while? Are they ever going to do it again? I can't imagine if this is successful, they're not going to do it again. So I don't know. You know, some things they do, like their barrel proof, they'll do 3 times a year, right? We know that. The A, B, and C batches. So I don't know how they're going to do this. That I do not know. But there's my review of it. It's good. It's I love the flavors that are coming out. Try it if you can find it. It's not expensive, by the way. It was less than this, which is crazy because rye costs more than corn. So I don't know how to. I can't remember what I paid for it. Man, I want to say it was either in the high 40s or low 50s for this. Worth every penny of it. I'm going to enjoy this, man. I'm going to do some comparisons of this to a regular rye, same proof. I'm going to do this with the toasted bourbon together, right? We're going to do all these things. I just want to get this one out. I want to get it out for you. Look for it, right? It's out now. It's getting released, all right? It's at the distillery. It's at their main distillery at Heaven Hill. It's at their Evan Williams experience in downtown Louisville, Kentucky. And, I don't know how it's getting throughout the country as we speak. They said very limited allocated release. I don't know how they're going to work that. Hopefully you can get it and comment on here of what you think about it. What is your taste buds telling you? I'm loving it. All right. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks.